it's part of our community outreach project that we launched just around 3 weeks ago, starting with Allman Town. And when we were in that community, giving the youth an opportunity to speak up about the issues affecting them, this was one of the major issues that they spoke about. It's the anxiety, it's the uncertainty about the overall zone plan, about, will we be moved out of our homes? Where will we go? Will we be able to come back and live there after it's been redeveloped? What's happening? We don't know. And so we followed up again last week, and we brought the young people back into studio, and they reiterated the same concerns. They don't know what's happening, that nobody's spoken to them about it. So, being Talk Up Youth, being Talk Up Radio, we decided that we have to find the answers for them. So we brought in representatives of the UDC, and we're going to ask them these questions, the very direct, very plain questions that the young people want to have answered. We're putting them to them today on Talk Up Radio. So we've been joined on the phone lines by Ms. Heather Pinnock, who is the UDC Deputy General Manager of Planning, Development, and Project Management. Are you with us, Ms. Pinnock?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, then we'll introduce yourself to Ms. Pinnock.
Good morning, Miss Pinnock. I am Demoy Wisely, one of the co-hosts for today's show, and I think we follow each other on Twitter.
Maybe.
And we also have Dr. Graham in studio.
Good morning, Miss Pinnock. I think I also follow you on Pinnock.
Dr. Graham was asking how you are.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I'm good.
Excellent.
All right, so let's jump straight in and ask some of the questions that the young people wanted answered. Let's start with the big one. Is Allman Town being demolished, and are the people being moved away?
Let's start with Dr. Graham.
Oh, well, absolutely not. The brief from the Prime Minister is to have redevelopment of the communities nearby. We have looked at the infrastructure that is required to support a new parliament and museum in the park. The runoff that would be there from having improved garden space and green space within that park would require an improved drainage plan, for example, working with the National Works Agency. That by itself requires us upgrading the infrastructure within the community. To do so, we have the housing stock as part of the inner city renewal, urban housing stock renewal plan. The housing stock within Campbelltown, Allman Town, Woodford Park, all of the areas surrounding that area would have to be improved. And so there is no brief to ad hocly demolish or remove people from the area. It is improving their housing stock, improving the infrastructure, and making their lives better. So I just want to make sure people are properly disabused of that notion or any thought that is being bantered about.
All right, so even if it's not ad hocly, on a ad hoc basis,
yes,
do we still, does the plan still include the people of Allman Town? Since we're going to improve the housing stock, I don't think you can do it with them in the house. So
definitely.
You're going to demolish some of the homes, right? And change them in some way, improve them.
So let's talk about that a little.
Right.
How do you do a redevelopment in a community when there are already houses there?
Yes.
Right? It is a complexity of urban planning that we undertake with good information. First, we begin with a vision. So we have a master plan concept, which by itself represents a vision. That vision has been shared by the Prime Minister in words. We, the agency, as the UDC, have worked with our pencils and rulers, and we've laid out what it could look like based on principles of architecture and urban planning. The next step is to have the conversation and interaction with the community, and we use the SDC as a primary agency to support us at the UDC to have that conversation. That step happens once the cabinet would have decided or determined that this is the vision that we're going forward with. So it is currently being reviewed by them. The intervention involves the community helping to shape that vision. So they co-create what the vision is and how we go about doing the implementation. So Demoy, for example, they would have an assessment of, okay, for lot number 2, It's 6 of us within this lot, 2 bedrooms. We have an outside pipe, we have 2 inside bathrooms, and so on and so forth. But our needs right now is for 4 bedrooms and, an improvement in our green space right here. That is a needs assessment. That's part of the social intervention that we would understand. Within that community, we also have lots that have they've been burnt out or they are empty lots. We would acquire those lots, and using the information from the needs assessment and the social intervention and shaping the vision from the people, we would then look at doing some of that housing stock development and moving people into that space. So it is allocation, relocation versus dislocation. And I want to make sure we use the words very carefully. Yeah. What I want to get to is that it is a co-creation of the vision, and certainly Heather can speak more in detail about the technical part of planning and architecture that we have to undertake.
That's
Ms. Pinnock? Are you still with us? Yes, okay.
What I want to do is back